Hey guys, for News here with the new tutorial series on how to park your car. But before we even get started, I want to go as usual over the basics of the Construct 2 engine so you guys can get familiar with it if you've never played with it before or played with an older version or just want to get reacquainted with it. So the Construct 2 engine is it's one of those engines that's really easy to get into, and once you know everything, you can really make a game fairly quickly. As you see, we have our basic gray panel. That's where everything is going to be. All the items, all the objects, everything. We have our projects, which is going to contain each level, the level coding, and the items used in it, and the sound files and everything else. Properties, those are the properties for each level, so that you can change the size of the viewing or how you want to view it. So when you hit run layout, it will run the layout in Firefox or Node WebKit or something of that sort. We can also set the properties in case you're exporting it to Android or some other device. Tile maps deal with the we're actually going to get into a bit of this too. Is tile maps deal with when you've seen an RPG tile map, you can place it onto the actual scene and then to create bounding boxes so that you can't enter certain areas and then just walk around. So you can literally create a town in like minutes. We have view, we have styles, which is really nice. I really like the styles, but we're gonna keep with scenic. And then we have our events. Normally these are really nice in case you don't know what to do, but I like to actually right click and add actions and all that stuff and the actual coding scene. So what are we going to be creating? So we're going to actually be creating a basic how to drive game. So in the end you'll have this, and I'll show you real quick. Rogue Planet, that's the studio name. Construct 2, the game engine, a loading scene. So it's going to be learn to park. It's going to have a little detailed information about what you're going to need, or what you're thinking about building, or the game that you're about to play. And then we're going to hit play. Here we go, exit play. And then the first level, park the car without hitting anything at all. Go slow. So we're going to say okay. We're going to start the car and we're going to drive. We're going to try not to hit anything that's red. So you can see I'm trying to go really slow. Boom. There we go. So let's get straight into this. So I'm going to use this finished version as a guide for us. So we're going to click on studio name and studio event sheet. The version that you'll find in this file when you download it is going to be a less complex version of this. It's still going to have everything. It's just going to have fewer or less items for you to worry about. So as you can see, we have our name, and we're going to import that into our other scene. So we're going to hit new scene, so totally new scene, new empty project. Alright, so I'm going to right click, I'm going to go insert new object, and we're going to import a few things before we actually import the logo. It's going to be audio. It's going to be a mouse, a keyboard, and then we enter into the sprite. We get the sprite. I find it really useful if you get the items that you think you're going to be using them and then put them into one main folder. That way you're not going all over your computer. And then if you find new items, just drag them to that scene and then re-import them, or import them into that new file. So that's the logo. You can put in your own logo or anything like that. And then as you've seen with the previous, we're going to run this layout real quick, is that it fades in and then it fades out to the next scene. So we're going to do that. And then we can do that by doing a behavior. So in properties, under effects is, actually under behaviors is a blue behavior button. We're going to go fade. And we're going to say active on start, yes. Fade in time, 1. Fade wait time, 2. Fade out time, 1. Destroy after fade, yeah. And what we're going to do is we're going to go add event, systems, on start of layout. We're going to go systems again. We're going to say wait. We're going to wait 4 seconds because it took us 4 seconds to, 1 second to enter, 2 seconds to wait, and 1 to fade out. The layout, we're going to rename to 1 underscore, let's see, studio ID. And we're going to enter, and then we're going to add another one. And this one's going to be named 2 underscore engine ID. Insert new object, and this time we're going to insert a tile background. And then we're going to place that there. And then do a sprite, and then the engine logo. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing what we did before, is that we are going to add a behavior, a fade, 1, 2, 1, and then on this object 2. 1, 2, 1. So on event sheet 1, so now that we're done with event sheet 2, we're going to go back to event sheet 1. Okay, so on start of layout, the system's going to wait 4 seconds. Then it's going to go to the next layout, engine 2 underscore engine ID. So what this should do is load up the logo, then the logo of the engine. Boom. Alright, now that we're done with that, we're going to add in another one. And this one is going to be our loading screen. Sprite. And this is going to be a nice little image so we know, the game's like, hey, driving game. Insert new object, sprite. Go into park. And we're going to minimize this. Insert new object, sprite. The UI pack, and then we're going to go look for a yellow arrow. Insert new object, progress bar. We're just going to do everything like what we did before onto this. So everything fades in, everything fades out. Alright. So let's see what that looks like. And you occasionally want to do this, see what it looks like, because you may be saying, oh, it works like a zillion times. It may not work on the zillions at one time. There we go. We forgot to create a load scene. So what we're going to do is we're going to, on start of layout, we're going to wait 4 seconds. Done. And then we're going to go to next layout. And we're going to rename this layout underscore loading. So we're going to do that again. There we go. Alright, so what do we need for the loading scene? Because now we're going to get into a bit of some coding. So I'm going to pull up our other one, and then we're going to pull up its loading screen. You see that's number 3, so it's telling us, okay, event sheet 3. So it's going to say on system start of layout. So okay, let's do that. Let's see, on start of layout, what do we need to do? Set maximum to 100, make indeterminate, and set invisible. Okay, so we're going to set the progress bar to indeterminate. That means make the progress bar show the indeterminate unknown progress. Set maximum 100. Done. And then we want sprite 5, our arrow, to be visible. So I'm going to set its opacity to 0. So it's not visible. Okay, so next is every 1 second, set progress bar to +8. Okay. So every 1 second. Okay. Every X seconds, every 1 second. We're going to set progress to 8. Okay. Then I copy that. Progress bar to +8. And then when progress equals 100, set the yellow arrow visible. Okay, so compare progress is equal to 100, or sometimes I like to say greater than 99. Set this to be visible. And then we say on left click, go to menu. Alright, so when we left click objects, when we left click it, we're going to go to a new scene. So system, go to layout. But we don't have our menu yet, so we're going to set that up, add layout, and add event sheet. We're going to rename. We're going to go to 4 underscore game menu. And then we're going to go to go to game menu. Alright. So we're going to see if this works. As you see, it does work, but we have some issues. So we're going to see to make sure that we followed everything. And we did. What we had to do now is fade out time has to be 0. Since we can't have our scene fade out. This is why you keep testing it, you keep playing it, so that you know, hey, it does work. Okay, so we're gonna hit, oops, and we actually need this to be invisible. So we're gonna hit opacity 0. So that's way up here in commons. So we're gonna click the object, and right under commons, it's gonna be layer, angle, opacity. We want opacity to be 0 because we already said. Let's say 1 second. That's the difference. See, I said opacity? We don't want that. Visible. There we go. It's very, you really have to know what each scene does, or each coding object does before you actually get to it. It's where you do a lot of testing. And then when we hit 100, we hit play, and we hit the new scene. So we're now going to create our menu, and then that will be the end of this episode. So it's going to be a sprite. And then I'm just going to do a basic blue background. Insert new object, a sprite. And then we're going to hit play. Insert, sprite, exit, insert a new sprite, learn to park. And we're going to go to on-screen controls, sprites, flat dark. Then we want audio. So we're going to have this audio, which is sound. And I'm going to rename this animation. That's preview. I want rename to be sound on. And then we're going to add animation and to be sound off. There we go. Okay, and we are going to need 2 white boxes. Insert new object, sprite. And go back to UI pack, PNGs, gray panel, and then I'm actually going to duplicate that one. Clone, sprite 12. Alright. Then we're going to need one more sprite to finish this. We're not going to get into the coding of the menu yet. You're going to need a check mark. We'll go with an orange one this time. And I'll size it up just a bit. So 5 and then 5 there. And then I'm going to go into effects. I'm going to go to sharpen. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone it. There we go. So we're going to replay our game, starting with the beginning. So we have a rogue planet, construct 2, a load screen, and then play. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this first part of Learn How to Park, building your game, learn how to park. Hopefully you'll enjoy it and enjoy the next episode. Until next time guys, I'll see you all later.